ce château, il est trop beau. Attends, je dois pouvoir changer les sous-titres.
I'm Chandler Wood, community manager here at Avalanche Software, and we've got a lot of really exciting stuff to show you today. But before we get into showing you the game and gameplay, I have a few wonderful guests that.
Vous me dites si vous voulez que je monte le son, hein.
First up, we have our community guest host. He brings you the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. He's the local Merlin conspiracy theorist.
Guilty as charged. Yes.
Ouais, je vous montre le son. Ok.
James Whitehead.
Thanks, Chandler. Yes, I'm James Whitehead of Expecto Go.
On n'entendait rien, c'est un problème.
Hogwarts Legacy content, and I am one half of Expecto Go.
Ça devrait être mieux là, non?
My wife Sue represents that other half. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you, Avalanche Software, for inviting me. I cannot wait to go over this gameplay. I just got to say that.
Welcome, thank you for being here. And we've got two people from the studio, just two of the many people bringing this thing together, the magic of Hogwarts Legacy. Game director, Alan Tu.
Hello, everyone.
And senior environment artist and Hogwarts expert, Boston Madsen. So thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules right now to sit down with us to help us show everybody gameplay. So what we're going to be showing you today, first, the character creator, because it's your legacy, and you have to create yourself when you get into to get into Hogwarts and bring your whole authentic self to Hogwarts. So we're going to show you that character creator.
Ça, c'est vraiment la partie que je veux voir. Absolument. Bon, ça aussi.
It's just a small tour of Hogwarts, right? Because Hogwarts is huge. Hogwarts is really big. So we're going to be showing you a little bit, but it's still a lot. So.
Non, mais la
and finally, ending up with combat. A little taste of combat, a little taste of how all that works.
Let's go.
Just a little taste.
À peine contenir.
So we're excited to get there. But again, first and foremost, we need to get into this character creator. And James, with you here, we wanted to let you create this character.
Oh là là.
So Andrew, who is going to be doing all of our gameplay capture today, is
il a la manette et tout. Ah là là.
Oh my gosh. All right, I won't break anything. All right, so
oh mon Dieu, mais quelle chance il a, il est premier à créer un perso. Enfin, le premier.
These are your presets. So a lot like other games, there's some initial settings that you can choose for your character that just kind of get them into like the ballpark of what you want to be, who you want to be, and what you want to change.
Oh man!
And then once you're in that ballpark, all of the other tabs let you dial that in, be exactly who you want to be. Our goal with this is to make sure that for anyone that fantasized about bringing themselves to the school for the very first time, that they feel like they have the options in order to represent who they are and essentially bring themselves to Hogwarts or whatever character they want to bring to Hogwarts.
Oh my God, and options galore. Do you mind if I try to put myself in here right quick?
It's all about you
today. Okay, all right. That's me, we're here, that's me right there. All right, so that's step one.
We're pretty close, but let's look at everything.
Okay,
il fait un peu, c'est peut-être le perso qu'on voit dans la bande-annonce.
All right, so what are we looking at with this option over here with the tab? I see face stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of the different faces that you saw in the previous screen, all those faces are choices that you have here.
Stylé.
So you can, now you're just kind of getting into the details in your face shape, in your skin color. And then because we knew a lot of people going right in are going to want it right away, even though it's an option later in the game, you can collect different types of glasses, put them on later. We give you some options right up front if you want to have glasses for your character.
Oh man, oh my gosh, look at the structure of the faces with this. Wow, you guys thought of crazy. I like that. I don't think my face is that skinny, but I think we'll go that. I think we'll go that route. And down here is this.
Those are your glasses.
Ah, c'est stylé. Ah, c'est comme les lunettes de Harry Potter et de Dumbledore. Excellent.
Man. And this is just some of the options, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so through the course of the game, there's a lot of different options that you'll keep unlocking.
Okay.
So as part of kind of like gear for the character, there's lots of different classes, there's even masks, there's all kinds of things over the course of the game.
Il y a plein de lunettes différentes, donc là on voit pas tout.
Such a good call. Oh my gosh. All right, so now, we can go click on this one with the hair.
Ah, stylé. Bah, stylé.
I spend a lot of time here just like dreaming about my different characters.
Oh my gosh, the pony.
J'adore.
The thing I'm always amazed by whenever I see any aspects of Hogwarts Legacy's character creator is just the texture. And like you even adding the bounce with the hair moving around.
Ouais, la texture des cheveux, c'est vrai qu'elle est assez ouf. Là, c'est vrai qu'on dirait Hermione. Par contre, je trouve ça cool. Il n'y a pas des coupes-cheveux filles, des coupes-cheveux garçons, en fait. Tu fais un garçon, tu mets la coupe de cheveux que tu veux, quoi.
So cool. Oh, I like
j'adore.
that.
Bah, je trouve ça trop cool de pouvoir faire ça. Enfin, moi, j'adore, personnellement.
Ah,
vous pouvez pas casser? Ah bon, pourquoi?
Little behind the scenes. I used to have this type of hair like way back, but
je viens juste de voir ça, Michael.
I wanted silver tips, so that was the closest I got to any color. But oh my gosh, this is so cool. So you really can bring yourself. Like it's a myriad of textures and different hairstyles here. All right, so now we're getting over here to play around with.
These are more subtle options. We've got freckles, moles, different things like when it comes to your complexion, like darker eyes, maybe like some shading on the cheeks.
Ça c'est bien, en plus, c'est approprié un peu, quoi.
You guys literally thought of everything with this.
Yeah, I do have a bit of fun with that. And then the scars are one of those options where, you know, Harry had his own unique scar, but you can come in with different scar options.
Yeah.
Oh, il y a quand même des sacrées cicatrices, elles sont huge quand même.
I didn't even see that.
Elles sont huge.
Those are my favorite. The eyebrow scars. Love those.
You look kind of like, you look kind of just like tough. But anyway, so now we're over here. Oh man, you guys.
Ça, mais il a tellement de chance de faire son perso.
This is so sick.
Bah oui, pas de souci. Bah bon,
again, getting more subtle here, you know, really like dialing in that face to really get your.
I don't know how revealing I want to be with my facial features now. Just like, yeah, I kind of have a big face. Yeah, my eyebrows kind of sit kind of low. But I mean, literally, you have so many options just starting the game. I feel like I'm going to be here like forever.
Yeah, you and me both.
And then this final tab here, this is where you kind of bring your whole character together. You know, this is where you finalize everything. You're not choosing your house
ça c'est
here.
cool.
Okay.
Choisir la voix.
That was a theory.
But you know, here's where you bring you choose voice 1 or voice 2, which is more kind of a masculine or a feminine voice, and then even within that, changing your pitch, the pitch slider.
It's a subtle slider, but you can hear it.
That was quite something.
And so you can kind of make out the differences. But yeah, you choose which kind of voice that you want. You'll be selecting your difficulty here. For today, we'll just go normal because Andrew's going to be taking us through some of the experiences with combat later.
And we can talk a little more about difficulty,
ça veut dire que je vais devoir faire le jeu en normal et puis
but I think the important thing here is like if for people who aren't gamers especially, story mode is a way to get into this without being worried about like, oh, do I need to be good at games? Like, no, just enjoy this game.
And I will put expecto and then go. We're good. Awesome.
And then whether you want to be witch or wizard.
Amazing.
What'd you think, character creator? We're good?
I'm good. Let's explore Hogwarts and let's get into some
All right. Through the magic of using a dev kit, we're going to be loading up a save a little later in so that we can show you more about Hogwarts and give you that taste of combat. All right, Andrew's got some gameplay pulled up for us here. We are starting out things. There you are. You're wearing the House Fanatic robes from the account linking.
Thank you. I do look good. And this is our first look at the Hufflepuff common room. I mean, dorm room. Yeah. This is awesome. But Alan, what are we seeing right here?
Mais Marion, elle est partie au mauvais moment.
So right now, we know there's been a lot of questions about
ça veut dire qu'on peut avoir nos animaux avec nous?
This is the first time we're showing it. So, kind of going over it from right to left, on the bottom right is what we call our spellbook. So those are, everything that you see in it are slottable spells. So we have over 20 slottable spells that you can earn over the course of the game.
Okay.
And that's where the player can place them and use them and access them very quickly.
Elle est trop belle.
To the top left of that is, you'll see the D-pad, and on the left is an eyeball, and on the right is a bit of a grid. So the eyeball is an example of one of, not a slottable spell, but what we call an essential spell. There are certain spells that are used in very specific contexts or that we just want on the controller at all times. And Revelo is one of those. That's left on the D-pad. On the right on the D-pad is that grid represents where you might slot spells. And so right now, today, we're not going to be going into the spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of spoilers there, you know, like what are all the spells and what can we do?
I would like spoilers, but I understand.
But we do want to make sure there's still some goodies left to share with everyone. And then on the left side, that thing that has the L1 button next to it, that's another thing where we don't want to spoil, but basically that's where you access your tool wheel. So there's a lot of magical tools that you're going to be
on peut interagir avec le décor.
Growing over the course of the game. And so that's where you would access them rapidly is our tool wheel.
Okay, cool.
There are a few things that I left off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically there's a potion next to it. That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret for now. I apologize. And all the way on the left is our mini-map with a kind of overhead view of where you are currently in your common room that updates as you travel through Hogwarts and beyond out into the world. And for those fans out there that aren't a huge fan of mini-maps, because we know they exist, there's also options to remove the mini-map and turn on or off different elements of our HUD.
Really immerse yourself.
On peut avoir nos animaux avec nous. Enfin, c'est sûr avec ça là.
That's what you're seeing there, and this is our HUD.
Also, Andrew's giving us a good look over here. I want to call out. I'm a big fan of the bedside tables in the dormitories. Very nice bedside tables.
They are nice bedside tables.
Yeah.
The honey-colored wood was mentioned in the writing. It's part of lore.
Non, c'est
part
stylé.
of lore. There we go. All right.
Ouais, elle vous gêne là, tu crois? Parce que ça va cacher le truc des sorts que là on voit là. T'en penses?
Sort of feel.
The first thing I know is
oh là 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 là, mais tu sais, c'était. Moi j'ai envie de faire marche arrière là, mais je vais me le remater après, c'est sûr. On va regarder les détails.
This is unique music that you're hearing for the Hufflepuff Common Room. Go back to those Common Room videos we released. You'll notice the music's a little bit different, and that is entirely intentional.
Oh là là. Mais la salle commune, elle est
to your common room in every single house, just a little bit differently. Begin customizing that experience right away.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Look at that.
So I mean, beautiful design. We could spend like the entire rest of the stream just in the common room here and talking about it, and I'm sure Boston and James
est pas loin derrière, mais c'est
geeking out over.
All the details come from J.K. Rowling's writings for this common room. The round doors, the hanging vines, even the dancing badgers.
Ouais, ça, en fait, ça cache la mini-map. Ouais, il y a juste une petite mini-map. C'est vrai que j'aurais pu le dire.
Which is like elements for each of the houses,
yeah,
right?
Hufflepuff is earth, Ravenclaw is air, Gryffindor is fire, and Slytherin is water. We
oh, la bibliothèque, elle est trop belle. Je fais la même chez moi. Non, mais je vais redécorer. Mon chez moi en pouf.
It should feel very familiar.
Yeah, it does.
Mais les plantes meurent avec moi, donc c'est pas une bonne idée.
I know you don't want to leave, but we're going to be leaving.
Oh non! Oh, c'est trop bien. On va être dans les cuisines.
Whoa, the sound effects though. Like, looking back at the past trailers, it was just music, but kind of hearing.
Oh là là, je suis tellement ouf de voir ça.
It's so cool.
It's tactile.
Yeah.
Andrew's going to make use of one of our spells, Revelio.
Alors, qu'est-ce que c'est ça?
Revelio right here, because there's a little magic going on.
Parce que dans la vidéo, je me suis demandé ce que c'était.
Yeah. So, these are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages, and you'll notice a bunch of things pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
You see that we got some XP for it, and you can also see that we advanced something called like a field guide challenge.
Mais j'ai tellement hâte de prendre des gens de
So I want to
château.
talk about that a little bit. So we had to ask ourselves.
Dans les cuisines là-dessus.
Continue, I'm sorry.
There may be something you may or may not be able to tickle there.
Ils sont dans les cuisines, ouais.
But in our game, we had to answer the question.
T'es Serdaigle?
We're a late fifth year. What does that
Ouais,
mean?
la maison de Serdaigle. Moi, je pense que je vais faire une Serdaigle, c'est sûr.
Okay.
And so we have an answer to that question, and it's given to you by the staff. So there's something that we call the Wizard's Field Guide that's granted to you early on in the game. And the Wizard's Field Guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here, before we push forward a little bit, you can see in our pause menu, it's got this book theme.
Wow.
That's your Wizard's Field Guide, and you can see your house kind of crest overlaid over it. Right? And you can see that on your level as well. So that the field guide has this magical property of looking out into the world around you. And the reason why it's on loan from the Ministry of Magic and the professors have granted it to you as a late fifth-year student is because they want it to help you catch up to the other kids. And its magical property is to discover different opportunities to learn and grow all around you.
Ce qu'ils ont mis devant, c'est le livre que tu as avec les éditions de luxe.
In the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of locked into there.
Okay.
And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges that are combat challenges, quest challenges, exploration challenges. And you can see Phil get
Oh là là!
So we unlocked that one field guide page.
That entire category is one of the ways
OMG.
that
En fait, je pense que ça dépasse ce que je m'attendais, en fait, mes attentes.
And spills out into the school and kind of hides itself with different types of challenges and different things to do around the school that you're actually going to interact with to help you grow as a wizard and practice your spells. And so that thing that we just saw is not just a field guide challenge and a way to earn XP. It's also something that that players can use to learn about the school as they're traveling around. They spot these little secret facts and they can kind of play a little bit of a game.
C'est ton avancée en fait dans chaque truc. Parce que si tu te taxes sur le combat, les quêtes, l'exploration, ça veut dire que quête et exploration c'est deux choses différentes. Et ça c'est cool aussi. Ah, il est magnifique. Alors ça, ils avaient déjà mis des vidéos de ça. Ouais, je sais qu'il faut éviter la hype, mais j'ai trop du mal la team, je peux pas.
How much fun was it designing
Je
those
peux pas éviter la hype, c'est pas possible.
Right next to the Great Hall.
It's a nod to lore. House points is not a core mechanic.
Je peux pas, regarde, c'est trop
We didn't turn it into like a gameplay system, but it's definitely present throughout our narrative. And there are lots of choices where we want to nod to things that aren't necessarily gameplay systems, but we nod to them as part of the narrative.
Over to the right there, Andrew was teasing, that's the Great Hall over through those doors. Again, we're not going there, he's just kind of like,
Tu m'étonnes, Orkel.
Cool, cool.
Here's another collectible page, you know, just again
Il
showing
y a des
you like
pages
just
volantes
these
que tu
things
peux
around
ramasser, mais
Hogwarts that you
j'adore.
can
Mais j'aime trop.
do and pick up and.
En fait, il y a plein de petits trucs.
That's a shot straight from the trailer too. That part right there. I
Je suis désolée, mais je peux pas ne pas me hyper. Et tant pis si je suis déçue. Je préfère un ascenseur émotionnel que pas d'émotion.
These windows will change with the seasons.
Yeah, the detail I
Ah ouais, ça c'est trop bien.
I get surprised by it all the time.
That's a sentient magic castle. So.
Mais t'entends ce qu'ils disent? Mais je peux pas.
And we're going out.
Ah mon Dieu.
Look at that.
This is where the students are normally kind of
congregate,
just kind of chill out, play, meet each other outside of the Great Hall before and after meals.
Oh mon Dieu.
And I love the way that when the castle interconnects to, that it interconnects outside, inside. There are pathways on both sides of things, so you really get a sense of scope to how big this castle is.
And when you see things, like you'll notice a bridge over there, that's a place you can go to and cross.
Ça m'a déçu au début quand je l'ai su. Mais en vrai,
we tried so.
Par contre, ouais.
We put a lot of effort in making
La team, je suis d'accord. Pour faire du RP là-dedans, mon Dieu. Je suis inarrêtable.
And this castle's been here for hundreds of years, so it just kind of.
Peut-être venir plus tard.
And all the trees that have overgrown it. And
oh là là, c'est beau.
That landscape, that Scottish.
This location might look a little familiar to you.
I thought I recognized it. I believe this is from the Spring ASMR, and yes, so that puzzle
c'est comme
right
le
there,
Quidditch, il n'y a pas de Quidditch, tu vois, on sait jamais, peut-être que...
Taking us right back to
I am going to tell Andrew not to interact with that puzzle and to keep moving on. We can't spoil everything, we can't give you everything, right?
Hogwarts contains a lot of secrets.
Oh my God.
Oh.
But this is, this grand entryway right here coming down into a really kind of central area.
Yeah, we're coming upon the central hall, and we pointed out the greenhouse outside, and we'll notice when we get down there that it's on the right.
This is a big hub of the school. Like it's a big castle, but it is designed so you shouldn't get very lost. This is kind of a grand central station.
Ouais, ouais, là-dessus.
Each direction, you know,
je pense pas que tu
green
puisses te
over there,
permettre de faire
the
une croix sur un
greenhouse is
truc
over
aussi
there, Transfiguration Courtyard, you know, the library straight ahead. So it's kind of the hub.
Je vais pleurer, c'est sûr. Non, je pense que je vais pleurer le jour où il va sortir, parce que là, c'est...
Greenhouse. Oh my God.
A lot of it will be subconscious, but it'll help you really learn the castle and feel like you know your way around.
That's not to say that it's easy to learn. All of us here still get pretty lost in it on a daily basis. It's a castle.
Great point.
I love that Andrew's definitely teasing a lot of things here. I'm noticing he's swinging the camera this way and that.
Yeah.
He's got this grin on his face over there that's just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
J'ai passé des heures juste à explorer le château, à regarder tout partout.
This is another location where the students will gather, you know, and just kind of chill out.
And an opportunity to talk to somebody, get a quest giver here.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Nellie, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumour is that a former headmistress, Professor Moll, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch one.
Why would I do that?
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them.
So those kind of side quests are really, it's a cool way to interact with your fellow students, with perhaps other teachers, with
ouais, j'espère aussi, il a dit, mais normalement,
tu
peux explorer les alentours du château aussi. Il y a quand même plusieurs villages aux alentours.
The students are a way to kind of like flesh out the school opportunities around it, what we can do, and then those interactions. Different interactions with different characters can also offer different choice points for the player, and then some of those things can affect things game-wide. Some of these affect characters' lives, the ending of the game.
And sometimes it's just about you being a little bit of a nice guy or just being a jerk.
Yes, absolutely. So the scale really varies, but those opportunities exist for the player.
Wow, look at this.
Ouais, carrément.
This is the Dada Defense Against the Dark Arts.
Power,
which this is one of my favorite locations in the castle. Just visually, you come in here and just the richness of this area.
Very iconic, very unique.
Elle aussi, elle donne une quête apparemment.
Anywhere else in the castle.
Somebody else that we can talk to, notably a younger student.
Yeah, she looks like a first year or an 11-year-old.
Are you all right?
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak. The girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
Everyone hates you? Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoil sports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones? Little balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling liquid.
Elle est trop chou, elle. Sounds awful. Ouais, tu peux te comporter comme un petit...
I haven't much interest in a game that sprays you with odors.
Only if you lose, which I never do. Or at least, not often. People can be so cruel. Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstones and hidden them in very high places all over the school.
Ooh.
Sounds as if you caused the smelly situation and they responded accordingly.
I didn't make the rules. Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet. I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented 5th year to help me.
Ok. Ah, tu peux répondre de façon très désagréable, hein?
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again. I'll be back to playing Snake Pit and Jackstone by myself in no time.
I love that interaction with her because there's so many ways that you can go with that. You can you can feel for her. You can be a jerk to her. You can be like, gobstone sounds awful. It sounds like you're just mean. Like,
oh, regardez, il y a des petits trucs qui bougent, qui nous observent.
Continue.
That's a good example of the
gobstones too. I know people are gonna ask. Gobstones.
Ok, on est observé, les gars.
Mentioned it, right?
Yeah. So yeah, gobstones is one of the things that is not.
C'est la salle de classe qu'on voit dans le 2, dans la chambre des secrets. La salle de défense contre les
it's an amazing thing on the franchise how many things about this, like like speak to us as fans and that we want to turn into gameplay. And there were calls that we had to make over the course of production of kind of like which things we will and won't include in the bucket, just kind of for the overall
Wizard's chess.
Those are things that aren't featured.
They're featured within the world.
I'm glad they mentioned they're a part of the
Ouais, c'est pas...
Every single time there was something that we regretted because we couldn't include it. We also tried to figure out a way to make sure that it was included in the narrative, included in the stories, make sure there's a way to kind of like acknowledge it, touch it, you know, and make it feel like it's definitely part of the world.
And I know here too, we're like,
I was like, we're in the Fist Against the Dark Arts class. I recognize that staircase to the left where we were just at.
C'est vrai qu'on la voit pas que dans le 2 d'ailleurs.
I also recognize the dragon at the very top. Oh my God.
Il y a des détails. Hein.
Being in a classroom, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how
s'entraînent
classes work, because we've gotten a lot of questions about that. Is it a schedule-based system? Is it so tell us how classes work?
Yeah, so ultimately we decided not to go the sim route.
Bonjour de Montréal. Bonjour à Montréal. Alors du coup, trop cool que tu sois là. Non mais moi aussi je suis trop hype. Je me suis un tout petit peu calmée, mais je suis dans un état d'excitation. Je pense que je vais me refaire la vidéo.
There's a big mystery going on in the world. There's something happening in the narrative, and we essentially see it as kind of like chapters in that narrative, each chapter of which has a set of missions that you can choose between as you're progressing through the game, and classes fit within that structure. So there are mainline things that the players have to do, and then classes also appear on the sides as well as optional things that help you advance your spells.
Oui,
it's absolutely true that classes provide all of your major tools throughout the gameplay, your spells, your major abilities, you get to know the professors. Each one of them has these bespoke kind of events and moments in those missions. And then there are also additional opportunities outside of that through kind of like side classroom missions, essentially, where you can learn additional spells or things that you need in your adventure and also get to know the professors better.
And I just want to call out something that Andrew's been kind of showing off, ways to kind of interact with the environment and just engage with the world. And, you know, maybe down there who's sipping some tea with the...
C'est vrai? Ah, j'ai pas fait gaffe.
Victorian high, you know.
High society.
High society.
And it's no wonder you like this area because we built it for like the purebloods and the Slytherins.
Well, like, speaking of lived in, like, the sound effects again, the chatter of the communication that's happening and the footsteps, like, it just makes it feel more alive.
Little events like that, the brooms going by overhead.
I just saw a broom go by. Love that.
Donc il y a quand même tout un truc
Data
avec
Tower
les balais.
was one example, but no two hallways should look the same in Hogwarts.
Alors il n'y en aura pas dans ce jeu, ils l'ont dit.
Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's mostly to help orient the player, help you not get lost. But this is Hesperus Hall. That's a little nod from the Marauders. A name that came from the Marauders
pas un
map.
petit showcase, hein,
but every hallway will have a little bit of a different personality and.
Il y a quand même pas mal d'infos et pas mal d'images. Hein.
I like that because it does like Hogwarts has character. Hogwarts is its own character no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Feels just a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's a sentient castle full of magic for hundreds of years. Yeah. It's going to kind of grow and develop. Oh, I heard something.
Yeah. Speaking of characters.
Speaking of magic.
Ah, ok. Ah, c'est Pives quand on embêtait quelqu'un.
You know, we talked about building on lore too. I know there's that statue over to the side.
Oh, yeah?
That's
Do you know who that is?
Lachlan the Lanky, and he's got his Bowtruckle friend. And I think if players don't know, there's another Revelio page there.
Yeah, there's a map of Argyllshire. We know the fat lady hides there.
It hides behind it. That's right.
The third book. But sometimes a hallway has personality by how it looks, or we just passed a music hallway where the portraits have kind of taken it over, and so the sound makes it really unique.
All right, I got to call this out here. I know there's been some criticism in the past that our trailers and our gameplay and what we've shown so far has not had enough owls. Okay, so here we are at the owlry. We're looking directly at the owlry to show you all of the owls.
It's a lot of owls.
It's a lot of owls at the owlry.
All the owls.
On a fait la volière avec Marion. Enfin, Marion a fait la volière et on l'a un petit peu.
I also love that as one of my favorite things about just kind of going around on the outside of the school is that all those things that I see.
Quand on aura fini le château en entier, on a fait plein de pièces déjà.
I just love that.
Marion a fait quasiment la totalité du truc.
Lovely Scottish countryside.
We're kind of closing out our mini tour of Hogwarts, and again, again, it was but a fraction of this enormous castle. But we're closing it out here in the clock tower, so another recognizable location. But this is where Crossed Wands, which is the secret, not so secret dueling club is that the students have put together. Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by this Lucan Brattleby here.
Who's in a younger year, but we kind of like that he's running things.
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That would be wonderful.
Be sure to cast all your spells before the dummy lands. If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
And this is a really good opportunity to now jump into combat, because really in the game this is going to be the first time where you yourself get to learn about combat and combos in a big way and in a new way. For me personally, this was where the game like really starts to open up to the possibilities.
So we've set up a training dummy, and this is kind of an activity where you're supposed to execute according to kind of the iconography on the top. Now, what we see on the top is the Accio spell, followed by 4 what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shots. There's certain spells what the wizards kind of like use, just kind of fling. Andrew's using one now. And you trigger that by tapping R2 on your controller. So you can see in the corner R2. So if you tap R2, that throws out a basic shot. But that R2 is also your gateway to all of the spells that you might slot. So if you hold R2 instead, you can see how the diamond expands. And if we let go, you see how it contracts. And so if you hold it again, it expands. And so when it expands, then all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped with your face buttons.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over the course of the game, you can gain additional spell diamonds, up to 4 additional ones, so that you can slot up to 16 spells, pretty much instantly. And then that helped us fulfill the fantasy of in combat, I need to be able to access things very rapidly. And so you learn over the course of these events, how to juggle not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is their cooldowns. So as you're casting spells, just to make sure that you're not just kind of like repeatedly using one thing over and over and over again, you can see cooldowns on the spells that he's using on the wheel. And then as you progress through the game, there are different things that can affect things, like cooldowns, talents.
J'ai l'impression qu'il y a quand même pas mal de possibilités dans les combats. Il va falloir faire des combos.
And update those things.
Il va falloir
and so if you hold down R2 and you tap the D-pad, it will switch between your other diamonds if you've unlocked them, and that's how you access all those.
Oh man, it looks like we're about to get some action over here.
Yeah, so this is a great way to kind of learn how to pull things together.
Le multi faut faire une prod
pull those combos together.
Et peut-être que plus tard. C'est voir si Gassi a beaucoup de succès, peut-être qu'il se lance dans le
Awesome.
Yes,
And that's just against the dummy, but I mean...
I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel. You'll be a fearsome challenger now.
I think now we can take on something a little more challenging. It's going to shoot back.
Now let's talk about some more features of the combat system.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of Crossed Wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
We're on a PS5 dev kit here, so we're going to be able to kind of pause the action and talk about what you're seeing on the screen, because there's about to be a lot going on.
Ah, attends.
All right, here you can select if you want to fight with somebody else, some of your
classmates.
But in this case, we want that action feel a little more frantic towards you to really get you that sense of combat.
So apparently you've got quite the reputation because they've got you up against 3 people.
3, off the jump.
So I can explain this just because I know people are going to go into it, but we can probably just kind of jump in.
So
you're not the only one that has Protego and the ability to deflect. The enemies do too. And we actually play with that when it comes to the spell casting. So you notice that there are different colored kind of shields around the different characters. And you also notice that your spells have different colors on them. So to help players understand kind of like the function of their spells, we're trying to put them into brackets. So there are damage spells, there are force spells, there are, I'm forgetting the other one, all this, control spells. And so those things for the player, they wind up also being a color indicator for which actual spell to use to break the different shields that enemies can use. That way it rewards kind of like that close attention that you're paying on things.
We've got this paused here now, and you can kind of see all the elements on the screen.
Il y avait l'air d'avoir énormément de sorts que tu pouvais jeter de d'après ce qu'il dit au début de la vidéo, donc je pense qu'il y a de grandes chances que c'est que tout s'aimera sur un que tu peux utiliser. Après, à voir comment tu le trouves. Peut-être avoir une ligne un peu dark pour le trouver, je sais pas.
As you target different characters, you'll be able to get that breakdown. The halo over your head, whenever an enemy is about to an attack, it's almost like you have a little bit of a sixth sense for those things that are coming. If you see the halo, it means there's an incoming attack, and if you tap the triangle button by default, then you'll be able to deflect that attack that comes in and off with your protect.
And I love that deflect where it goes off and like hits things up and kind of breaks things off walls too.
But also, if you hold the button, then it doesn't just deflect. It also deflects and turns around with a counter-attack stupefy that actually stuns the enemy. And you can use that even in your combos and stuff. So if you're focused on a character, and you're doing your thing, and someone else attacks you, you can actually turn that attack into a direct attack on the person that you're comboing.
Back into gameplay here. Andrew's gonna pretty handily finish these other students off here. Win this duel.
Plein de possibilités.
It's like a dance.
Donc le coup des potions, ça on l'avait déjà vu.
We really felt like in the movies, there's almost like it's kind of like there's this element of kind of like fencing from a very great distance.
That's a good call.
And there are a lot of things that we had to do with our controls and combat system in order to kind of capitalize on that idea that's pretty unique to the Wizarding world.
Understandable.
Well, perhaps you should try that next time. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then. The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
And that is more or less going to wrap it up for us for now. For what we're going to show you, character creator, tour of Hogwarts, and just that little taste of combat. But we didn't want to leave you without maybe a little taste of something that we may show in the future, may show next time. So leaving the castle, going out here.
Info vitale.
More owls.
La volière, elle est loin du château, hein. Je la voyais pas si loin, moi.
There's the owlery again. Yes. All
si tu veux aller poster un truc, tu prends ta journée.
But yeah, just heading out here again to show you like from Hogwarts to the world beyond Hogwarts. And this is not somewhere where we're going today, but we will definitely be taking you in the future.
Donc ça veut dire qu'on va avoir des infos sur l'extérieur avant la sortie du jeu.
Scale of the castle back there.
Si j'ai bien compris.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up here, but I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that you've seen. But I think, James, you may have a few other questions here at the end of things. So while we're done with what we're showing on the gameplay side, I know there's a few things that
Bien sûr qu'il a des questions. Qui n'aurait pas de questions?
I would love that, because there's a lot.
Il a quand même pris un petit...
some of these questions we did pull from the community secretly, but I did pull from the community. So,
ça c'est sympa ça, d'avoir fait ça.
And also from, going through
La folie,
this, I feel like you've come up with some things you want to talk a little more about, I'm sure.
Mais après Noël, ça va passer vite, ça va passer vite.
Character customization, Hogwarts itself, and even combat. So this would be like for the both of you guys. Will we be able to go back and change our character creation if we don't like it?
So not everything, but there are certain things with hairstyle, hair color, so kind of like core shapes, like with the body and face, not after the fact.
Okay.
But there are lots of things. There's kind of like a barber shop in Hogwarts that you can go to. And
Of course,
Ah, j'adore.
You could change your hair color for holidays or something, right?
Oh my gosh.
Ah,
that
c'est
would be
trop
so
bien.
cool.
And the game features a lot of appearance customization. in
Après,
it.
c'est normal
So
que tu
there's
puisses
a
pas
ton
changer
of
la
options
forme de
there.
ton visage, quoi, tu vois.
But that's in terms of like your character and stuff that you have, the character creator. It's like a smaller set of what you saw there.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Awesome, awesome. Next question. What kind of leisurely activity can we do?
Eh oui, parce qu'il y a pas
Can we study with our free time? I mean, what will we be doing just hanging out in Hogwarts?
Because as you progress through the game, there's a bunch of different missions that open up. Most of them are driven by different characters' personalities. You know, some of them want help getting up to hijinks, or some of them want to just explore secrets in the castle because there are new secrets in our castle to explore. And so, so I think there's a bunch of things to do. And when it comes to class, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just kind of like the mainline stuff. There are kind of like extracurricular assignments, some of which are optional, some of which are kind of like blockers for main mission. Kind of like you can't go on this mission until you have the spell. And then the spell is open, you know, the assignment and how you complete it with your professor. And so there are opportunities to study, so to speak, like with that. But they do all take the form of our mission structure.
As you mentioned earlier. Wow.
Les images étaient folles. Je sais pas si tu viens d'arriver, mais les images
do spells have different levels or are they all equal?
C'était trop bien. Je vais décomposer la vidéo là demain, je pense.
I'm trying to think of how to describe that. So each spell has kind of like its own core identity and what it does in the game with regards to both kind of like puzzling, world exploration, and enemy combat and all that kind of stuff.
Non mais oui, c'est logique à Yolia, je sais, mais je trouve ça quand même trop cool.
When you go into that, it's kind of like each of those spells has ways to kind of like advance,
Le moindre truc, je
grow,
trouve
and
trop cool.
change. And as you spend talents, in some cases, it even changes like the way you approach the battlefield and things like that. So I'd say that's no more true than with like dark arts, for example. And as you go down that line and you kind of play around with those talents, it really does start to kind of like affect even how you approach combat and how you think about the battlefield.
Je sais que Taddy nous a dit qu'il ne faut pas trop se hype, mais je ne peux pas.
Many of you guys will be.
Surtout pas avec les images qu'on vient de voir. Franchement, avec le château, mais juste le château en fait.
I want to close off with this question, and this will be for everybody, and we'll start with Boston. With this game that you guys have been working on for however long, and the excitement you guys have, what's one aspect of Hogwarts Legacy that you are excited for the fans to experience? Boston.
I think I'm just excited for the fans to play through the world, specifically the castle, and maybe go read those books again. I hope that either whether you're already a fan and you know love this game or this is your first introduction into the world, I hope they just point at each other in the best way possible. And I'm just excited for fans to get to finally go to Hogwarts and feel like they can own it.
Des recherches personnelles, etc. Eh bien oui, mais du coup, je pense que les devoirs, c'est ce dont il parle, par exemple. Tu vas devoir faire des devoirs pour faire des trucs, et je suis quasiment sûre que pour débloquer un certain sort, tu auras une quête à bibliothèque de recherche, tu vois, je suis quasiment sûre.
But I actually feel like the most honest answer is really similar. Because my favorite thing when running around, playing the game, and getting to know, Hogwarts the way Boston knows it, because she knows the school and the lore better than I do, and thank God, right? Because you want the person architecting it to really know that. But when I rewatch the films or I'm rereading passages from the books, there's a different relationship to those things having played the game.
Right.
And so it's really looking over the edge and seeing location. I'm like, oh my God, I'm right there. And in the movie saying, I know it's around that corner in the film. Like if you go down this way, there's actually a thing over here, and there's this person over here, and this thing happened, and it just adds all this richness to everything that you already love.
And not just that, but you're going to add your own story. So you know what happens around that corner because you did something.
And then the quick answer, just to have something different, is I just love being on a broom. I just love looking at the whole world and just being like, okay, I can just go.
I can go there.
That vantage point,
There's just something exhilarating about it that feels very different in that kind of open air and on that thing. It just it's kind of incredible.
And wrapping it up, for me, it's just bringing the community together with it and sharing those stories, because it is your story, and you are going to be writing you know, this is your unique experience within this, and even within the things that are the same, it's going to be your unique experience. It's different from mine. It's different from we're all approaching it from different places, and I think that's going to be really cool the way that everybody brings those things together. All right, and that's everything that we have to show you today. I know maybe it wasn't everything you wanted to see, but it was a whole lot of stuff. Character creator, little mini tour of Hogwarts there.
Mini tour de Hogwarts, on a déjà vu tellement de trucs.
And we do have some more stuff coming up for you in the future. Hogwarts Legacy releases on February 10th, 2023.
Mais j'avoue,
and is available for pre-order now.
Je suis totalement d'accord avec toi, je kifferais trop.
With a little something else, but for now,
franchement, ça serait trop bien. Oh, merci pour les infos, c'était trop bien. Oh là. Le tortoise, il est ouf.